Good morning, Vietnam. Okay, it is my last 2 days left in Vietnam. And this year I've spent a total of almost 6 months here. So you can, as a tourist, you can get a 90-day visa. If you're from any Western country. I'm from Australia. My name is Carl, if you haven't watched before. I want to tell you about my experience, what it's been like living here for 6 months. Now, this isn't my first time to Vietnam. I've been here several times over a couple of years, so I've got to know it. There wasn't just like no random reason I chose to come here, but I want to give you a bit of insights into what life is like here. My time here, what I've done, what I've seen, what I've been doing, and anything that you might want to know. So if you do want to know anything, leave a comment below. I will answer pretty much every entire comment you leave. Now, as I'm walking down the street, it is about 7:45 in the morning. So there will be a lot of people walking, driving past me, heading on their way to work. So it's a bit busy. Anyway, I've been living in Hanoi, mainly in the expat area of Tây Hồ. I have done some other videos on that if you want to know about the suburb. Hanoi itself is one of the more traditional cultural cities of Vietnam. It is certainly, as a Westerner, an affordable place. My rent here, I was paying $388 per month. That included a cleaner as well, and that also included the Wi-Fi. And it was fully furnished, so I didn't have to worry about anything. I got the keys in one day. I signed the paper in one day. I was shown 6 different apartments that I could have had. Totally a completely different experience to what I had in Australia. I'd been living overseas in Germany for 10 years, and I'd moved back to Australia and tried to readapt to life there. But it had changed a lot. As everyone knows, it's become, in a lot of places in the world, extremely unaffordable. The wages don't match the price of housing or the price of rent, unless you're like a doctor or CEO or something. So it's been getting harder and harder for people. Now, myself, I've always been a traveler. I think I've been to 50 countries now, and still counting. So it was never about finding somewhere cheaper to live. It's just about exploring the world, and I'm going to continue to explore the world. The start of this year, I was in Japan for a couple of months doing karate, which I'm going to mention later. So this is all part of a big documentary I've been filming, which will be released probably early next year. But we'll get into that. I try to leave that side out of my blogs. I just want to tell you about life in general, about life in Southeast Asia, what it's like to move here. So obviously, cost of living is, more than affordable. The food, of course, is delicious. I mean, even when I lived in Australia, I would be eating Asian food all the time, whether that be Thai food, Indonesian food, Vietnamese food, Japanese food. Oh, one thing I was surprised about Japan, how freaking cheap the food was there, and amazing. I mean, of course, here too, even cheaper. But look, not everything, it's not just about the cost. It's about, trying something new, exploring more things, and having a different way of life. I know for some people it is the cost because they want to have a better standard of living. And I get that too. I also want a better standard of living. I couldn't find my own apartment in Melbourne. I applied for several. I offered a year up front and was still rejected. Go figure. As probably many people living there, you'll see on the news, there's lines, literally, 50 to 100, sometimes even more people all going to look at the same apartment. And it's kind of sad. Just on the news today, more rioting, March for Australia, whether you be for the left or for the right. ironically, it was the left that was causing the protests on that one. If we want to talk politics, I had previously always been a leftist. I'm certainly not right. I probably these days sit somewhere in the middle, but I don't like to get into politics. I don't care. It's not that I don't care, it's just like I don't live there anymore. And even though I was born in Australia, I never really considered Australia my home. Growing up there when I was young, it was a nice place. I was excited to live there. But slowly, you know, I could see it changing, and I remember for quite many years ago, back in 2011, I moved to, no, sorry, 2007. 2011, I moved to Europe. 2007, I moved to Melbourne. Population 3.7 million at the time. Now it's, I don't know, 5.5. You can certainly see the difference. Roads are congested, everything's packed, no one can find a place to live. Anyway, enough about Australia, back to Vietnam. So, yeah, as you can see, well, I've got a nice little lake. It's full of lily pads. In front of me is the Tây Hồ Lake, or West Lake. There's the biggest lake in Hanoi. I particularly like this area. It's very beautiful. It's a bit more quiet, as you can see now. There's not so much traffic. As I said, it is peak hour right now. Now, I'm about a 45-minute walk from the CBD. So that would be somewhere equivalent to living, if you're talking Melbourne standards, maybe in Fitzroy or Carlton or Richmond. If you're talking Perth, you might say Mount Lawley. I don't know Sydney or Brisbane too well, but look, to be able to walk to the center of town in 45 minutes is pretty good. Or I can get a bike there for about $1.50, and that takes 12 minutes. You know, easy, simple, just enjoyable. Now, what do I want to say about this place? Everyone is going to have a different experience. It all depends on what you put into it. And I would say the same thing for every place, for every country in the world. You know, you could move anywhere and we are all going to have different experiences. So, kind of at the end of the day, I guess that's up to you. Because it's all about the people you meet. It's all about the effort you put in. And some of it's luck. Maybe, you know, you find the love of your life. Maybe you find the perfect job. Maybe you find the perfect circle of friends. Maybe you want to be a loner and just chill, relax, be left to do your own thing. Now, that was one thing that I felt I couldn't do in Australia. I felt like my choices weren't up to me, no matter how much money I had, or, you know, there was always so much competition, and that made it hard. But look, I'm probably going to be back to Vietnam. I've also spent time, I went to Nha Trang. I spent a bit of time in Da Nang. Now, Da Nang is one of those kind of up-and-coming places. People say it's the new Bali. Now, it does have an absolutely beautiful beach. I would say that, like, if you're choosing to move to a place like Da Nang, it's relaxed in a sense. I mean, compared to Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh. But, you know, it's more based around that kind of outdoor active lifestyle. Obviously, living in places like this, you have, you know, wet season, dry season. Hanoi is a little bit different. It's further north, so they almost have a winter, or at least what they like to call winter. They say they have 4 seasons. I'd say they have 3. Their winter is more like spring or autumn. But Hanoi, particular, it's been easy to make friends. There's a big expat community. If you want to find work, being an English teacher, that seems to be the popular thing here. I am not an English teacher. I am a YouTuber, a freelance video editor, I do websites. I do all sorts of things. I'm sure if you watch my channel, you know what I do. Normally I do these cinematic videos, but today I'm just talking to you honestly, unfiltered, unedited truth. Now, there's upsides and downsides. Obviously, you know, when you move to a new place, you're gonna have to find that new friendship circle. Luckily for me, I already knew a few people here, so that made it certainly easier, and those people gave me a lot of tips and tricks, and I'm trying to share those things with you. As I said, happy to answer any questions. Now, going forward, I'm heading to Thailand. Obviously, you get a 90-day visa here, and then you have to move on. But it's not like Europe where you have restrictions where you only get 90 days within 180 days. You can do 90 days, leave for a couple, apply for a new visa, and then come back. Now, I've got just a work opportunity where I'm going to be filming at a training fitness camp in Koh Samui, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be also part of my documentary, part of my story, and also, hey, just to get fit, to try something new, to be by the beach for a little bit. But yeah, it's my second last day, and I'll be back.